Welcome everyone, what's going on? It's Monday night again, can you believe it? It's insane how quickly this comes around. I look forward to it every time. Just got back from Amsterdam last night, late last night. Feeling a bit tired, but feeling good. Just about got today's video out, although it was a close one. It was only a little one today, just to keep the content rolling, really. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. It's hard to know how much effort to put into some of these videos sometimes when I just want to say something. People like pretty videos, something to look at to keep them watching the video sometimes, and so I worry that just like the headshot of me just talking at the camera is pretty boring, but I don't know. Matt, thank you. Tracy, how's it going? I'm doing very well, thanks. I'm a bit tired. It's been a long weekend. Mild, or MLD, sorry. Lindsay, welcome. Return of Ammo, welcome. Your videos are good, not boring one bit. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. New or used machine starting out. What's your budget, Andy? Obviously, new is better if you can afford one. Russ, welcome. How's it going? Your cleaner windows, welcome back. How's everyone's start to the week been? Are we busy yet? I've had to catch up this morning on about. I had 4 inquiries through the website. I had 2 on WhatsApp, 3 on Facebook Messenger, 2 texts, and 1 voicemail. I feel like that's crazy for just a random weekend. That's from Friday till late last night. The one weekend I decided to go away when I'm not in the country. Seems a bit crazy. But it's good news. Andy, you got a budget of £1,000 to £1,500. You could buy yourself a good used Honda GX390, 15 or 21 litre per minute machine. You could probably find one on the marketplace, on Facebook Marketplace. And normally, you can tell a good machine that's barely been used if it's still like clean. You might be looking and find one that's been used 2 or 3 times, or it's like an ex-display model, and they're just sort of getting rid of it. I saw one the other day that was just a spare that they didn't need anymore, and they were getting rid of it. And it's like 2/3 of the price that would normally be brand new. So if you can get one of those, absolute bargain. But if not, you might want to consider. I've been recommending this machine quite a lot to people. PWS have started doing a Hyundai. That's £1,000, including VAT. And so 15 litres per minute, very capable machine. And they can service and get the parts for it, unlike, the Hyundai that you're going to buy on Amazon. When it goes wrong, nowhere will service it for you, and you won't be able to get the parts for it. And then you're stuck then with a broken machine that you can't do anything with. Whereas something like this, it's in budget. It's supplied by one of the best suppliers in the UK, and you get all that after sales support as well. So that might be something to consider. Russ, welcome. Shane, welcome. How's it going? Glenn? Very wet. Oh, you've had a wet day? Yeah, we got caught in a storm in Amsterdam over the weekend. Literally just non-stop raining. And we were walking everywhere. And we also hired a moped. And I forgot. I've never driven a moped before. And I forgot that when the whole reason that you've got like a windshield and the guard in front of you is so that you put your knees sort of on the inside of the moped. so that when it's raining, you're not getting wet. But I forgot that. So my knees were just sort of spread out because that's the way I felt most comfortable. And so we arrived at our destination, and I just had the rest of me was dry because I had a windshield, but just my knees, the bits that had been poking out, was just totally sodden wet. I had to go into like restaurants and stuff looking like a right idiot. I saw the rainbow floor you did. Did you hack out the stuff between the slabs? It looked amazing. The rainbow floor. Oh, the sandstone that I cleaned last week. Okay, the camera's had enough. I wonder if it's overheated. I've actually been called back to that one, believe it or not. So I'm just trying to find the line of where the music's not too loud, but I can still hear it. I think that's about right. Cheers, everyone. Settle down, go get yourself some biscuits, and get yourself a drink. Do you mean this one? The Indian Sandstone? I'm looking at this picture now, and she's called me back because over in this corner, it was like the water wasn't draining away, and so all the jointing compound that I'd brushed into the joints, trying to brush all that off the surface of the slabs is really difficult when it's like flooded, when it's too wet. So everywhere else, I managed to get it all off. But in that back corner there, she sent me a picture. And I've said, like, you're going to have some residue. So over the next few days, when it starts to dry, you can just brush that residue off with the stiff brush. But she's messaged me and said, like, there's no way I can brush it off with a stiff brush because it's just it's absolutely baked on. And she's been on her hands and knees with with some sandpaper trying to get it off. And I'm like, you didn't have to do that. You should have just called me. You can't really see from this picture very well. Let me post this picture in the Discord, because I don't want to give away all the details and stuff, Bear with. Sorry, everyone. Happy birthday. Thanks, Leon. Woodside, welcome. Let's see some examples of how people put quotes together. I'm going to be doing a quote in a minute, if anyone's interested in seeing that. Right, send that to the Discord. That's a better way of doing it. So she sent me this picture, and you can see there's still, in this back corner, there's still loads of black spots that I'm not happy with. And so I have suggested, this is after 3 hypo treatments, 3 very strong, 1 to 3 hypo treatments. The rest of it looks great, but it's just this bit. And you can see between the joints, it's all the stuff that was standing in the water has settled between the joints, and now it's all like rough and rubbish. And so what I'm going to do is go back and get one of them whizzy wheels for my angle grinder. One of these. And I'll just whiz it off any of the faces of the slabs, because there's still, look at all this on the faces of the slabs. It's only I think it's mainly in this small area, but it looks terrible from this photo. It's all up the wall, because this whole area was just flooded. But yeah, that's bad. That's not good. And yeah, she's paid full price for this, and so it needs to be perfect, really, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna go back and have to sort that. Did you hack out the stuff between the slabs? Yeah. So before, it looked like this. So it's a cracking difference. Like, there's in some areas there was like no compound. There's no mortar left between the joints. And you know, it looks 10 times better than it did. But I suppose when you get up close, it tells a different story. Like from this picture, you can just about see the black spots over in this corner. Hence why I took it from this angle. And you can see, like, in most places, I've got all of the residue off the faces of the slabs. But it's just not been possible to do it everywhere. Jamie, welcome. Dominic says, hi, I agree about treating customers as if they're the best returning customer ever. It makes them feel looked after and valued. I've got to drive a patio cladding clean from a window quote. Yeah, it's amazing how work can spiral. From the most like unsuspecting customer, you can land some of your biggest jobs. I spoke to a guy, like I was going to put this in the video earlier, but I thought it would be too long-winded to explain. I went to quote a roof the other day. It's quite a significantly large roof. The quote ended up being like £1,600, which is big for me because I don't do a lot of roofs. And the guy said someone quoted me 400 quid to do this roof, to pressure wash it. And I thought that sounded cheap. And so what I did, I tested him out on one of my other properties. I sent him out to do a gutter clear on my other property because I had a blocked down pipe. And he said he went out, cleared the gutters, but didn't clear the blocked down pipe because he sort of said he couldn't get to it. But he didn't tell him he couldn't get to it. He cleared the gutters, took the money, and then he sort of didn't hear from him again. And he said, "Oh mate, the downpipe's still blocked. Are you able to come back out and sort it?" And he just sort of said no. And then he's like, "Well, clearly I'm not going to get him to clean my roof now, am I? Like, if he'd have just done a good job on those gutters, I might have gone with the 400 quid he quoted me. But there's a reason he's quoted it cheap, is because he's probably inexperienced and he's just trying to make some quick cash." So if you look at my quote compared to it, it's like 400 quid compared to 1,600 quid. It's not all about money. It's not about the price. It's about whether you can prove that you can do the work or not. And this guy, he's got multiple properties. That could have been a huge revenue stream for this guy if it had just done a proper job on those gutters. He could have landed loads more work from this chap. Some people don't think about the bigger picture. Oh, you've got coffee. Oh no. How can you drink coffee this late at night? Aren't you going to be up all night? Thanks, Martin. Hiya, Hooper. You're right, mate. Where did you get that LPM tap attached from on the pressure washer? It's on Amazon. I forgot to put the link in the description, didn't I? It's called a water flow meter. Sorry, I'm trying to show it without showing my address on Amazon, because it insists on putting my address on the side whenever I pull up Amazon. That's the one. Water flow meter. And it's decent. I've nipped it up and it doesn't leak anymore. And it was 21 quid. And it literally arrived in less than 12 hours, which I think that blows my mind, that does, that they can get packages to you from God knows where in less than 12 hours. I'm going to find a way. Actually, I already I've plumbed it onto my hose reel, but I'd like, this would be a really good, someone's going to steal this idea, you know for a fact. If you see this idea, if you see people start supplying their machines, any of the big suppliers, if they start putting these flow meters on the tanks, you know where the fill valve is? Because I haven't seen anyone do that. Where your high flow float valve is, if you had a flow meter on top of that, just a cheap one like this that's battery powered, 22 quid. I think that'd be invaluable, adding that onto the top of the tank, because then all that guesswork of whether you've got decent sized hoses or whether the customer's taps enough to keep up with your machine or whatever, all that guesswork goes out the window, because you just plumb it into the top of your tank, turn the tap on, and you can see immediately, oh great, I've got 16 litres per minute. If my machine's spec'd at 15 litres per minute and all my nozzles are correct, then I'm going to be, in theory, I can just plug straight into the customer's tap rather than filling my buffer tank. I think it'd be so useful. Have you tried using a suction hose mud sucker from Rutland Pumps? Would have got rid of the water for you. No, those things still baffle me, by the way. I don't understand how they work. I think what you're talking about, well, I think it's called a mud sucker, isn't it? Squeaky Clean Dave's got a good video on one of these. So he starts with a full dirty bucket of water with stones in and gravel and pebbles and stuff. And this mud sucker attachment goes on the end of your lance. It even looks weird, doesn't it? It even looks like something out of a spaceship to help you with your irrigation when you're in space. What's that, like a 3-inch hose? It's pretty massive, isn't it? So the high pressure water is going down and back up, and that's sort of going to draw everything else up with it by creating, is it like a Venturi, I suppose? So he's literally just pulling the trigger, which you'd have thought would add just more water, which it does, but it also brings all the dirty water with it, and you can just empty it out. You can direct the hose somewhere else. So if you've got a flooded drain or whatever, it seems counterintuitive, like you're adding more water to the area that's flooded, but it's just sort of going straight back up the hose. It's a very cool item. The only thing that's prevented me from getting stuff like this in the past is I just didn't have room in the van. But now that I've got my big Sprinter, I could have this in the corner, couldn't I? I could always have one to hand. I'm going back to Rutland Pumps. I haven't organised it yet, but I'm going to head back. And I want to test out their snow foam lance. The My friend Rich has just ordered one today, actually. It's like an X-Jet, but it's called a Profoam, I think. So I want to test this out because it's got some really good reviews, and apparently it's like a nice, well-made item. I picked one up when I went to visit Ben the other day. I picked one up and held it and stuff, but I didn't get a chance to have a go with it. So I'd like to do that just to see how it compares with my experience with the X-Jet. And then I'd like to also have a go at the Mudsucker. 175 quid plus VAT. Oh, this one looks a little bit different. Mudsucker dewatering pump. This one looks slightly different. Do you get the hose and stuff with this? Is it like the full thing? New design is far superior. Excellent bit of kit. So I think the one that Dave was showing in the video was the Equip to Clean one, which I want to talk about in a bit. So they've got a new product. Yeah, it's this one, look. 100 quid including VAT. So there's a bit of a price difference. Oh, I see. So they're not selling... So it's sort of just the end rather than having like a lance with it as well. So you use your own lance and just plug it into the end of that. So presumably like it does the same sort of job. I wonder if one is better than another. Works really well, could do with a longer hose. Excellent product, does what it says on the tin. Oh look, Dave's videos there, look. Hey up, Shag. Batman, welcome. How's it going? Would it not be better to use a trowel in very wet conditions for the pointing so you're not spreading it around with a brush? Yeah, I did in some areas. I actually filled the bucket with water and sort of mixed it in and then just used a trowel. And that was quite useful in some areas, yeah. But when you're doing such a big area, I don't know, you might be right. You might be totally right. I tried a few different methods and I ended up just sort of brushing it in to the big areas. Coffee doesn't keep you awake, okay. You're immune to caffeine. You can get them from B&Q, but I don't think they're meant to be on all the time. Conrad, what are you referring to there? I think that was a conversation from earlier, so I can't remember what we were talking about. Hi, could you talk about the water temperature for pressure washing? Is it much of an advantage? Can you talk about the water temperature for pressure washing? Is it much advantage? The water temperature. With regards to whether or not to like have a boiler, to have like a hot box, something like this. So the way I haven't got a boiler, I haven't got steam, but the way Darren from PWS described it to me is go and clean your dishes in your sink, use cold water with a bit of washing up liquid, and then see the difference when you start using hot water. See the difference in how much easier it is to clean. What sort of temperature are people using when they're steaming, when they're steam cleaning? Because I know you can reduce the pressure. You can clean at much lower bar when you're using steam, because it gives you like an equally as effective clean when you're using hot water, so that you're potentially using much less water, but then you are using diesel to power your boiler. Also on on some areas where you've got like heavy black spots or staining, or you've got like a really delicate surface that's got loads of algae buildup or lichen, instead of using loads of chemicals, there's a chance that you can get a similar result with just steam. So for like heritage properties where you're steam cleaning delicate like limestone and stuff, steam might be a better option than chemicals. It might be a more instant option. Oh, you bought one from B&Q, but it only shows how many litres you use. Oh, you're talking about the... You don't think they're meant to be on all the time? Yeah, mine reads... My flow meter reads constantly. As long as there's water passing through it, it will show you the reading. And I think that's going to drain the battery pretty quickly. So that is something to consider. I wonder if I can wire in like a larger battery or a power supply or something to it. I don't know. If it's going to be mounted on the tank, you'd want it to last, you know, a decent chunk of time before you have to... I don't want to be replacing the battery every week, basically. You need to patent that idea. Every idea that I'll ever come up with in the pressure washing industry has already been thought about. And I don't think patenting things in this industry is worth the paper it's written on. I think people just copy ideas regardless. What machine would you suggest to buy new? I live so far away from PWS and Rutland. The closest to me is A1 pressure washers, who sell the Evolution, but not sure they do 21 200 bar. Isn't the Evolution just... No, it's not. It doesn't matter. Who builds the Evolution? Isn't that the PWS range? I can't remember who builds the Evolution machines. I can't remember if it's Rutland Pumps or PWS. Or someone totally different. I don't know. What machine would you suggest to buy new? For just driveways and patios, you can't go wrong with a 21 200 or a 15 250. I think PWS are quite fond of the Briggs and Stratton machines now, although Honda GX390s have always been the one that people would recommend. So I've just reviewed, it wasn't really a review, it was just like a sponsored video really, but if you have a look on my YouTube, oh god, I've just done quite like an in-depth look at a 15 250, cleaning this limestone. That was from Pressure Washer Sales and Service in Evesham. And that goes over sort of how to set up the machine and all the fancy bits on it that make it sort of worth that sort of money. Jake Smells. Thanks, Craig. Welcome. You're right. Is there any videos of the Profoam? Oh, that's a good idea. I wonder if there's one on their website. No. I bet there's some on Facebook. If anyone's got a link to a video using this Profoam lance, maybe like DM me on anything. You won't be able to put the link in the YouTube chat because it'll delete your link because it thinks you're spamming. you're going to need an even bigger van. Yeah, where's the limit? At what point do you think I don't need any more equipment? That's the thing with this, with the pressure washing game, is you could just forever spend all your money, all your hard-earned money. You could just forever just keep putting it back into the business and back into upgrades and repairs. Like, at what point, I was talking about this a while ago, at what point do you just stop and enjoy your money for a bit? There's always something else you need. There's always something that people recommend. A game changer. God, I hate that phrase. There's always another game changer. How many times are we going to change the game with all these new products? I'm sick of spending money. AC Pressure Washers has a mudsucker with a 10 meter lay flat hose. We were looking at the in the Discord the other day. We were looking at the 3-inch fire hose for like diverting water. They do like a kit, like a barrier, heavy duty flex barrier, so you can like fill it with water and use it to redirect flooding and stuff, which could be really useful. But again, it's like another gadget that I know I'll need it one day, but it's not something I'm going to use every day. Fill it with water, use it, drain it out and roll it back up. It's a really good item actually. That's probably worth, I should get that, shouldn't I? 55 quid plus VAT. I should probably get that. So you said they've got a, what were we talking about, mudsucker? Oh, look at this. What's the difference? Quick release mudsucker. Mudsucker with mini quick release. Oh, those are the 5 meter hose versions. These are the 10 meter hose. I've never used one of these fittings. These like fire hose fittings. They seem like a big boy fitting. I saw someone put one of these lay flat hoses on the bottom of a downpipe when they were cleaning a roof, and they were just redirecting all this water from the roof cleaning off somewhere else, which I thought was a really cool idea. But there's only going to be very specific circumstances where that's actually going to work, because most of the time downpipes go straight into the ground. So Equip2Clean have just released, or I just got an email about it today, this solar panel cleaner, which looks interesting. It looks like a nice bit of kit, like it's compact. I like this metal flexi. Looks like an exhaust flexi. I don't understand how it works. I mean, I'm guessing when the high pressure water comes through it, it starts spinning the brush to help you with like the agitation on the solar panels. But does the high pressure water go onto the solar panels? And is that a good idea? I'm sure you can like adjust the bar and stuff to make sure it doesn't, because those jets look really small, to be fair. I wonder if you just turn your unloader and turn your revs all the way down. Because typically you'd clean solar panels with like a water-fed pole with a brush on the end. Squeaky Clean Dave, again, has just done a video with his new one, with a big fancy one from, I can't remember where he said he got it from. China, I think. It was on his shorts. Look at this beast. He's got a double whammy as well. He's got a... Look at that. And he said... we went for some lunch the other day, actually. And he said it did really help. It looks massive, though, doesn't it? I've got to say, when I was cleaning some solar panels recently, the agitation is the hardest bit. Like, doing like a general clean is fairly simple, but actually effectively cleaning off all the litching. Also, I've just thought, what does he do when he gets to the bottom? Is that like adjustable? Presumably the angle is slightly adjustable, but are you going to have to adjust it every time you want to sort of clean the bottom edge, or do you get rid of that and get your water fed pole out to clean the bottom edge? That's interesting. Like, is it worth the money, the setup? Is there a time saving? Is it better? These are all questions only you can answer. So this is a single one. It looks cool. I would like to try one out. I don't think I clean enough solar panels to justify me owning one, but it's an interesting product. Jake, take some pics and videos of the mudsucker from Rutland, mate. I will when I go back to Rutland Pumps. I did visit them. It was like a 4-hour round trip, and I visited just to sort of say hi. I was going to do some filming, but it kind of felt weird. You know, my first time meeting Ben, and he was good enough to take the whole day out and show me around and stuff. It felt weird, me sort of filming everything while we were just trying to have like a nice chat. And he did some really cool things for me on my machine as well, which was nice. So we sort of agreed, like, let's think about some things we want to show in the video. I'll make a list of things I want to see and talk about, and then I'll come back and he'll sort of have them out, set up, ready to go, and then we can do like a proper deep dive on all those bits, which I thought was a good idea. So I'll revisit again soon. It's just like things are getting quite busy at the moment, and my van is causing me a bit of stress. Engine warning light. The engine warning light's gone off, but the AdBlue system's now, like, I've got a countdown timer on the AdBlue system, and it's now down to 200 miles. And when that gets to 0, my van just won't start. So I need to get it sorted ASAP. Someone tried to have a go at it on Friday while I was away, but his reader didn't read the... I think he needed like a commercial vehicle reader or something, I'm not sure, but... Rich, welcome, mate. How you doing? Just ordered the WaterTech foaming nozzle. I'll let you know how I get on. Nice. Rich, take some videos. Do some little shorts and stuff. Definitely be interested in doing that. What are you going to use it with? Have you got some hypo to use it with? And if so, which hypo did you buy? Do you have like a surfactant in the hypo to make sure it foams? Sorry, Conrad. Yeah, the flow thingy. There's been so many messages. I'm so sorry. I am trying to go through every single one and make sure I don't miss anyone. So it's going to take a while for me to get to the bottom. I'm sorry. Stick around. I will get to your questions. Does anyone know the name of the tool that you can scoop the dirt out of the eco drains? I used one at my old company. I can't find them anywhere. They were long with holes at the bottom of the scoop. Like when you fill the drains with sand? Drain scoop? I know gutter vacuum systems sell a little scoop. I don't think it's got holes at the end though. I think it's in their accessories section. Yeah, they've got this little green scoop. I'm not sure if that's for scooping out gutters or whether it's for like scooping out the sludge from the bottom of your vacuum. Vacuum vac scoop. Yeah, that wouldn't be it then, would it? No, I don't know, mate. I'm interested in that, so you'll have to find it and let me know. Hey, Steve. Welcome, mate. Did a big job yesterday and used the customer's hot tap all day. Flew through it. Really? I did that by mistake. They had 2 outdoor taps and I thought, oh, that's weird. Hooked up to one of them. And I got about 10 minutes into the job and I thought, God, my lance is getting hot. This can't be right. And then I went over to the machine and I put my hand on the side of the tank and the tank was like red hot. And it was literally almost, I took the tap off the end. It was almost boiling coming out of this outdoor tap. It looked just like a normal garden tap, but it was a hot one. And I don't know if it's a good idea to like store hot water in those buffer tanks. Like, I don't know what they can handle. Let's have a look. Tanks direct. 250 litre tower water tank. MDPE, what's that? MDPE temperature rating. 50 to 80 degrees. That said there, look. Oh, minus 50 to plus 80 degrees. Polyguard fittings. MDPE water service pipe is suitable for only for use with cold water. Okay, maybe you shouldn't use those with hot water then. That's interesting. At the end of June, I'm redundant from my current job. I'm finished lining the business's pockets, and I've been watching everything you've created and advised and going for it. I've been doing some on the side and have been really enjoying it. Nice. Costa Geo. That's awesome. It's not awesome that you're being made redundant, but it's awesome that you're taking the leap into pressure washing. It's a big step going from a full-time job with security to not knowing if the phone's going to ring with customers and stuff, and it might. You got to prepare yourself. It might be a very, very slow start, because it was for me, especially in winter. When end of September, October comes around, the phone just totally stops ringing for pressure washing work. So just be mindful that it could get rough, which is why I try and tell everyone, don't just quit your job with no backup plan, because if you quit you bought all this fancy equipment, you just spent 3 or 4 grand or whatever, and maybe more in some cases. You started doing advertising, but you've not really got any reviews or any sort of portfolio work. Your phone ain't just going to start ringing. No one knows that you do pressure washing. No one knows about you unless you've been like posting every day and you've got some sort of following. You've got no it takes a while to sort of build up recommendations and people that'll when someone asks, those people to actually recommend you in the first place. That's where a lot of the work came from in the beginning, is people just recommending me to their friends. So it's a massive step, and I don't want to scare you, but have a backup plan, I'd say. In case it gets quiet. If you're like me and you've got a mortgage and kids that rely on you, I couldn't afford to not have work in And so the great thing I was able to do was I was on a 0-hour contract with my old job. And it meant that in the winter, if stuff got really quiet, I was able to do like 2 or 3 days a week there to keep the money coming in. And that was so valuable for me. Luckily, I didn't need it this winter because I had the busiest winter I've had so far, and it was insane, to be fair. But good luck with it, mate. And if you're consistent and if you do a good job, there's no reason you can't succeed. It's like the recipe for a successful business: consistency and either a good product or, you do a good job. Barclay, welcome. Do you advertise locally or on social media? I don't advertise at all. You could call it advertising. All I do is post these pictures on my Facebook page. I've got a business Facebook page. It's linked to my Instagram, so I can post from Instagram and it uploads onto both. And just based on all these before and afters and some like shorts and reels and short videos that I've done, I've built up a following on Facebook of 20,000 people follow me on Facebook now, which is wild. But I treat Facebook just like YouTube, just like TikTok. The more content you put out there, the more reason people have got to click on your profile. Look at this, like 77 likes. I don't get that on my personal page on Facebook. If I post something on Facebook, I'll get like probably 10 or 15 likes. But when I post it on my business page, it just gets more eyes. And this is what I've been doing since day one. Since day one, I've literally just been posting before and afters on Facebook. And that has been where 90% of my work has come from. I've only recently got a website. This is the only thing I'm paying for at the moment. Is I'm paying GoDaddy to host this website, about £11 a month. I had a decent amount of. It's been better than I've actually expected it to, because I haven't really put much effort into it. I'm not doing any sort of upkeep or maintenance on it. I've just made it, left it there, and people get in contact through this. When you click on contact us, it takes you to this contact form at the bottom of the home page, and then I just get an email through on my phone. And because they can't click send until they've entered their email address, phone number, and address, then I've got all the information I need to give them like a decently accurate quote or an estimate. And it also gives them the opportunity to attach some photos at the bottom as well, which has been really helpful. I've got one to do today, actually. Maybe we'll go through it together in a minute. So that's been really useful as well. Steve, welcome. Cleaning my mum's driveway this weekend. First real pressure washing job. Can't wait. That's amazing. Well done. That's what started it off for me. I cleaned Sophie's mum's drive, and then I cleaned my mum's drive. And the lady down the road, she asked me to. She saw my mum has shared my post on Facebook of me cleaning her drive, and then she got in contact, and then 2 of her other friends got in contact from Facebook as well. Oh, WaterTech Evolution. Is that what it is from Rutland Pumps? Are you answering questions? Mind over matter, welcome. I think I am. Where does the waste dirty water go from the mudsucker? Somewhere else. just over there somewhere where it's not causing you problems. DM you on BBM. I think, who did I see the other day that still uses a BlackBerry? Eminem. I think Eminem still uses a BlackBerry. Shout out from Gloucestershire Exterior Cleaning. Welcome, mate. I was in Gloucestershire recently. I did a big limestone job in Gloucestershire. It was a horrible job. This one here, 4 months ago. Quite a big one as well. Another backpack, carbon pole, generator, the list goes on. Yeah, you could literally just be buying stuff forever. Speaking of backpack, Gardener Pole Systems have now got their V3 backpack back in stock. So if anyone's been waiting to try and find someone, which I know a lot of my Discord members have, they've been trying to hunt around the UK for them. And you can buy them from places, but for some reason they won't ship it. But Gardener have them back in stock now. ProGrip was the latest and true game changer. Does it change the game? I think I've probably used that word to describe stuff too. I was talking about this with Steve before, mate. We went to Equip to Clean to buy the 30-foot water-fed pole and ended up spending double that on carbon one as it was so easily upsold. Yeah, I mean, there's always something better out there. Even when you get your fancy new carbon fibre water-fed pole, there's always a better one. There's always someone saying, oh, you should get this one because it's a game changer. Or this one's a slightly different shape, so you must have it because it's the best. It's never ending. I'm thinking of something like the Profoam for gutters. Ionics do a thing that makes the solution foam up a bit, but it's really pricey. Looking for an easier way to scrub in the gutters. I think you're always going to have to scrub the gutters, to be honest, mate. We did a video, me and my brother did a video where we were pressure washing gutters with my new water-fed pole. Pressure washing them first and then applying the chemicals, the TFR, but you do still have to scrub them. This one here, cleaning windows without pure water. So if you want to have a look at that video, you'll see the way I do it now. It's very effective, but you do still have to scrub. I don't think there's an easy way with cleaning gutters, fascias and soffits. It's such a physically demanding job. Probably one of the hardest jobs, like, other than roof cleaning, I'd say that's probably one of the hardest jobs. On your body, on your shoulders, if you're not used to doing that sort of thing. I think my girlies are back. I'm sure we've seen the Evo 2 on AC pressure washers. 21,200 is that? £100, 12 litres per minute. $15,250, $14,150, $21,200 electric start. There you go. Or you've got a $21,200 pull start by the looks of it, which is a bit cheaper. Quite a lot cheaper. There you go, AC pressure washers. Well done, wizard. Monkey, welcome. Using the GVS Panther will probably not clean downpipes. Yeah, I find if downpipes are significantly blocked, I'm getting up there anyway just to disassemble them to give me a bit of peace of mind that they are actually clear. If I can access a downpipe, and if the rest of the gutters are full, I'll get up and disassemble the downpipe just to be on the safe side. If the gutters are fairly empty, then I'll probably just trust that it's clear, because if there's not much over here, there's not going to be much in the downpipe either. We viewed the solar panel cleaner today. Great quality, light. Water onto the panel brush does the work. Water onto the panel, brush does the work. Is it high pressure water onto the panel? Or is it just a dribble?
Happy birthday!
Oh my gosh.
I was going to try it. So I done this.
Come here.
I done this.
Hold it. Keep it.
Daddy.
Yeah.
So I done this.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you poke your finger in my cake to try it.
No, I said she could try a little bit because she wanted to try some.
Is it nice?
Doesn't
Can I
like
try
the
it?
cake bit yet though.
I love carrot cake. It's my favourite. That's really good.
yeah.
Do you want to try some actual cake?
No.
No.
Yeah, try it, girlie, with the cream on top.
I only love this bit.
You only love that bit. Do you want some?
What is it?
Cake. You want some?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just carrot cake.
But not that bit.
Okay. That bit?
Yeah.
Put it with a bit of sauce, with a bit of,
Sauce?
you know what it's called, mascarpone.
What do you think?
Not
No?
with that.
Hmm?
Not with that.
Not with that? No? Okay. Well, thanks for my cake, girlie. Love you.
What else did you want to do to Daddy?
You don't like it? Oh.
Go get some tissue.
What was she going to do?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, is there like a risk of electrocution when you're using some... Oh, it's not electric though, is it? I think you get just as much risk of electrocution if you're using a water-fed pole. And I wonder if there's any that... I wonder if specific water-fed poles are like resistant to shock, like carbon fibre or composite fiberglass. I wonder if any of them like more resistant than others. You can get electrocuted cleaning solar panels. I think that's only if there's damage or exposed wires. And my mate told me the other day, like even if you turn them off, even if you isolate them, actually it was someone on the YouTube comments, Ched I think it was, even if you isolate them, they're still drawing energy from the sun, so they're still working. Even if it's not sending the power where you want it to go, it's still generating power. And so regardless of whether you turn them off, you can still get electrocuted. This is a lot lighter than the one Squeaky Clean Dave uses. That's interesting. Going off subject, I need to fix my roof. What's the cheapest scaffold set? Oh my gosh, what is that? A pillow fight? Why are we doing a pillow? Oh my gosh.
She wanted to do a pillow fight.
Jeez. Thank you.
She said she wasn't hard enough, so she wanted me to do it.
Thank you, girlie. That's lovely. Nice. Is that my birthday present?
No.
Give me that pillow. That's mine tonight. I need something to sit on, girlie. I'm not very comfortable. I need a pillow.
You have Lucius pen.
Okay. Did you have a good Chinese? Oh, you had a McDonald's, didn't you? Did you eat all your burger?
Yeah. Yeah, often. Yeah, Daddy. We eat. Yeah, Dad. Yeah, officer.
Officer?
We
You silly.
Okay, officer. We
I just rented a scaffolding tower from my local
officer.
tower hire place, my local equipment hire place, and it was perfect.
What's this?
Say goodnight for Daddy then.
Love you. I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
Should we have a fun day tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. No preschool though, okay? No, no playgroup.
Where am I going?
Sorry about that. I hired this tower, this scaffolding tower, from just a local. It's called Dormer Plant Hire. And that was really good. It was like 80 quid for 2 days, which I thought was quite reasonable. And like in my situation, you just you just pass that cost on to the customer. But obviously, if you're fixing your own roof, you've got to sort of swallow that cost, haven't you? But for roof cleaning, I thought it was great. It's quite heavy compared to the My Tower that I've used in the past. Cameron says, "Hi mate, I've been watching for a while. I've got the PWSAS bundle from one of your videos. I've just sent you a video on Instagram using the Profoam." Oh, nice. Very cool. Thanks for doing that. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking. It's really annoying. I've got 9 requests on Instagram. There we go.
That's it.
Yes, my whirly. What are those? You weren't supposed to see those tonight. Oh dear. Let's have a look. I got these. We got these on holiday for you. It's a sushi. It's a sushi sweet bundle. So it's like, you know, Luca has sushi for lunch.
Yeah.
It's like pretend sushi because it's just sweets instead of fish. Is that good?
So what's this?
This is squeezy chewing gum for Luca. So he can squeeze it in his mouth and then it turns into chewing gum. And this one is a massive, great big lollipop for you.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? I think that's actually got chewing gum in, so we need to be careful of that one. I didn't realise. But you and Luca can share the sushi box tomorrow.
But I want to open it now and to Luca from.
You won't be opening it now.
Why?
You can open it tomorrow with Luca.
Is that a good surprise though?
Yeah.
Lots of sweeties.
Yeah.
You happy with that?
I'm going to really eat that.
Oh yeah.
It's very sweetie.
Yeah.
How cute is she?
What are these in the middle?
Oh, that looks like some kind of weird eggy, doesn't it?
That's good.
The what's these?
I like shrimp.
What are this?
Pretend fish girly.
Yeah, it's like, you know how Luca has it for lunch.
Yeah, is it what you want?
It's a sweetie one.
What are this?
It's just different kinds of sushi.
Can we eat them? Will you?
Yeah, you can eat them. They're sweeties.
She looks cute in that jumper.
And I'm going to eat the eggies with you.
Yeah, you got to share them all out though, yeah? So we'll split them all in half. Okay?
Yeah, I will share these with Luca, but I don't know where these are.
Yeah, we're just going to share it all.
But I know what these are sushi.
Sushi. Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
they?
Sushi.
This looks cool. It looks just as effective as the X-Jet,
Right, go put them back on Mummy and Daddy's bed.
but I don't know how you adjust this one. Like, is there a thing that you twist to change the spread? Because I know on my X-Jet you can sort of change the spread so that it's either like all the water's coming out into the middle, or there's like a fan thing that closes that spreads the water out like a fan jet, and that's really useful to have. And I'm sure you can probably do that on the Profoamer as well. But as long as you've got that adjustment on the end, then I don't see any reason you wouldn't buy this over the X-Jet. Rich, my friend Rich, has just bought this, and it looks very effective. Do you get good results from it? Who sent this? Cameron. Does it do what you want it to do? And have you got any comments about it that anything you change, anything you think that's really good? Because you don't buy two, do you? You don't buy the X-Jet and one of these, so it's hard to compare those two products if you don't own both of them. Also, I've noticed here, I've found this quite difficult recently, is not spraying it all over your high pressure hose. It's unless you've got really good access to the job, it's difficult not to get it all over your own hoses. And I think that can have an effect on how long your hose lasts and how much it degrades, especially when it's vibrating on the floor and it's leaving black marks all over the place. I think hypo can probably have an effect on that. So, something to consider when you're slinging hypo around. It's impossible sometimes to not get it all over your hoses. But yeah, let's catch up. Be careful not to get burnt out. I don't know how you do it all. I'm just trying to be consistent, mate. I think you're talking about me there. I'm trying my best to just like... Things seem to be working out quite well at the moment, so I just want to keep on this trajectory. Especially when it comes to the YouTube, like just trying to stick to uploading every Monday. Regardless of whether the video is ready or not. I could have added so much more content to that video that I posted earlier, but I just ran out of time. I've been away all weekend. And I've got loads of backup footage that I could have used and stuff, but I just didn't have time. So I just quickly wrote a script this morning, stuff I wanted to say. Started talking into the microphone basically, and just about got the video uploaded. It was like 5:15 when the video uploaded, and it came out at 5:30. And then I went to my mum's for a takeaway. My mum's hosting like my birthday meal takeaway thing, and then halfway through that, I've had to get Soph to come and drop me home so that I could be here for 7:30 to start the live stream. So, as well as the actual pressure washing work, I am, there's lots of sacrifices that happen behind the scenes where, me and Soph don't talk some evenings because I'm sat in here editing, or I'm responding to emails and inquiries and stuff, and it's like, it is difficult to manage everything. Yeah. Get your spider in the morning.
Yeah, from Nanny Julie.
Oh, did you leave it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Love you.
Yeah.
Good night. She's so sweet. Just DM'd you in Discord a review of the Profoamer. Oh, Leon. Look at all this. Spotted a really cool solar panel cleaning brush from X-Line. Does your van not just need AdBlue? Normally you fill it, turn the ignition on, wait 60 seconds and then start it. I have topped the AdBlue up. I didn't know you turn the ignition on then wait 60 seconds. I could try that, I suppose. What does that bit do? What does the wait in 60 seconds do? Give it a chance to sort of... I know there's something called like a forced regen. I don't know. I'm talking about stuff I have no idea about. Which is like the theme to this whole channel, isn't it? Jake talking about stuff he has no idea about.
Of Awesome Windows. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review video for you on the WaterTech Profoam, which I got from Rutland Pumps. So guys, I got the WaterTech Profoam gun from Rutland Pumps. I'll put the link below. Basically what comes in the package is you get the gun, you get a suction tube.
By the way, Helm of Awesome Windows, Robert, on YouTube. Give it a proper view rather than just...
Your chemical tub, and the other end connects to your Profoam gun with a little quick release.
I'm going to go for a wee, I'll be back in a sec.
Water to chemical dilution chart. So this means that you can figure out what dilutions you need depending on your machine. So I've got a 15 litre per minute Honda GX390, and it gives me different dilution rates by inserting these little insert pieces. They're different colours. So if I wanted, for example, on my 15 litres per minute at 10:1, I'd put the beige piece in, and I put it in this little section here, and that's the bit that connects onto your suction hose. So you've got lots of little different pieces. It depends on the range of your machine, the size of your machine, what ranges you'll get with the dilution. It varies per machine, and obviously you'll get some higher and some lower. You might not get exact on some of the things you're looking at, but like for example, my 15 litres per minute will give me a 1.6 litres to 1, and 2.5 litres to 1, and 5 to 1, 10 to 1, 16 to 1, 30 to 1. So it gives me a really wide range for me to be able to apply chemicals to whatever I'm treating at the time. So I bought this because I do quite a lot of block paving, quite a lot of patio cleans, and recently we've had a lot of black spot, or just a lot of area where I need to treat to get some of the chemical off. So previously I've been putting it into a watering can, diluting it myself, and then pouring it onto the surface and scrubbing it in with a brush. But this makes everything a hell of a lot faster. It is literally a quick release section which goes into my Q spigot, spigot goes into my Q gun, so you can get different ends. You can get the quick release, the mini quick release, but I went for the Q because it fits my gun. And so you set up your pressure washer, you set your hose up, you have your gun on the end, it slots into the end of your gun. This will then go onto the end of your Profoam gun. Obviously you've put your little insert in depending on what dilution rate you want, and you literally just slot the other end of your tube into the tub, and you press play on the gun, and away you go. The only thing you do have is a little handle here, which means you can turn it on and off. If you see that bit there, you can turn that on and off. And that means when you are doing it, if you've got the chemical in your hand but there's a point where you want to stop using the chemical, you just flick it off and you can carry on using the gun and rinse down and do whatever you need. So guys, I've done a few videos. I'm going to talk over them a little bit, but here is the gun in action. I've tried to do it on a nice big drive and a couple of other surfaces, just so you can see how quick and effective it is, and how much it foams up the chemical, so you can get a really good like foamy effect, and it makes it look like you've definitely used a lot of chemical on top of the surface. So guys, to set up, you get your chemical, take off the lid, obviously. I'm going to attach my gun to my trigger with the quick release. Once that's done, you put your tube, it's quite a long tube, you put it into the chemical tub, and you're going to make sure that it's turned on with the little dial just below the gun. And as you can see, this is quite a big drive. I've sped it up a little bit, but this took me less than 40 seconds to put the chemical on the whole of this drive, so it really does save you time. And I probably only used about a third of that tub, maybe half of that tub in chemical. Again, this drive's not quite so big, but the time that it saves, less than 30 seconds to spread the chemical on. And you can be quite controlled, as you'll see in the next couple of videos. I'm doing paths and patios. It's a bit narrower, but it's nice and easy to spread the chemical on. And it makes
So
it nice.
the first thing I'd say is, if you're going to be doing, if you're going to be using any sort of harsh chemicals like sodium hypochlorite,
Surface.
you need to be
To set up.
you need to be wearing gloves, at least. Ideally, wear some goggles. And with these foamers, they're atomizing the bleach and the chemical, and so it's going to get in the air. If you get a gust of wind in the wrong direction, you're going to breathe all that in. It's going to go into your eyes. It's like really, really dangerous, and especially if you're using biocide. Every single time I use biocide, regardless of whether I've got my mask on or not, I can feel my lungs. My lungs feel like heavier. I feel like I've got something on my chest, and I wear my mask every single time. And so just be really, really careful. I don't think you should be doing this sort of thing without gloves and without a mask. Ideally, you want some eye protection as well. You notice here in some of the clips, he's spraying he's pulling the trigger, and this is something I was going through with Rich when I was showing him how to use the X-Jet. You get that first initial burst where you don't get any chemical draw. I'll try and slow this down. Can I slow it down? Playback speed 0.25. So that first burst there, where it's just water that's coming out, that's because the chemical hasn't been drawn all the way down the tube yet. And then after that, every time you come off the trigger, the hypo is going to start going back down the tube, just because it's like gravity fed, essentially. It's going to fall back down the tube. So every time you come off the trigger, it's going to slowly go back down, and then you pull the trigger again and it gets drawn up. So the more you can keep it in one solid motion where you don't pull your finger off the trigger, the better like chemical draw you're going to get, because every time you take your finger off the trigger and then you're just getting water through the end until the chemical comes through, you're just diluting everything that you're putting down on the floor. If you're like soaking the floor first because you're only putting water out and then you put the chemical down, you're not getting 1 to 4. You might be getting 1 to 8 because you've soaked the surface too much first. You know what I mean? I would also put it down thicker. If it was me, I'd probably go a little bit thicker with this.
You can be quite controlled, as you'll see in the next couple of videos. I'm doing paths and patios. It's a bit narrower, but it's nice and easy to spread the chemical on.
Because there at the end there,
And 30 seconds to spread
when he
the chemical
changes to
on.
this barrel, and you can see
You can be
there's...
quite controlled, as you'll see in the next couple of videos. I'm doing paths and patios.
If there's no foam
It's a
here,
bit narrower.
it means you're not drawing chemicals. Like there's a bit of foam, but most of it's just water.
Easy to spread the chemical on.
So I use foam as like a big indicator as to whether it's actually pulling the chemicals from the hose properly. Because sometimes you can have an issue with your draw. I found it's easier when the barrel. It's annoying because if you can, one of those big 25 litre barrels, I found that when I lift it higher than the actual gun, it draws chemicals so much quicker and better and more consistently. But when I drop it onto the floor and I've got the gun high, it's obviously the gravity is having an effect. It doesn't draw the chemicals as well. So it's a bit of like a trial and error thing, and I bet you'll probably get that with this Profoam as well, where you'll have different. Also, wet down everything before you start. All this grass on the side, all these trees and plants. You'll probably be wetting it down naturally anyway from when you're pressure washing the area first. But it's going to help prevent you from like bleaching all the surfaces, or like bleaching the grass and killing all the plants and stuff.
And it makes
That's
it
a
look
nice
and
thick.
foamy.
That's a nice thick foam, innit? Look at that.
So there you have it, guys. And it makes it look nice and foamy.
So I missed it. Are you actually able to adjust the end of it? I went for a wee, didn't I? Can you adjust like the spread on the nozzle? I'm going to have a play. I'm going to have a play at some point. That wasn't me trying to critique or criticise this chap's video. I thought I saw a few opportunities to make a point, and so I took them. Have you seen the 34-inch surface cleaner that Equip to Clean are selling? Yeah, I did see an advert for it the other day. Look at this beast. Absolute monster. Is it like a twin one? Does anyone else really want that fitting to be in the middle? I can understand why they've done it. Because it makes it like a... If you had hose on both sides, it would sort of be sagging and flopping down in the middle. I wonder how effective that is. And I wonder... Where are you going to use a product like this? if you look at it from like a realistic standpoint, you're going to want something like this for like large block paved areas, because on like commercial sites, other than I suppose large concrete, large tarmac, you'd get away with using something like this. But to like effectively clean block paving with this, the amount of flow you're going to need to be putting through this thing to just be able to spin it, let alone effectively clean block paving, you're going to need an absolute beast of a machine. I wonder what the minimum specs are. A minimum water flow rate of 21 litres per minute. Yeah, that's reasonable, I suppose. Are those nozzles set in place, or are they adjustable? Are they 1/8 inch nozzles? Oh yeah, they're the small ones, aren't they? They're not the 1/4 inch ones that you normally see. They're the little 8 inch ones. 1/8 inch ones. I think Rutland Pumps sell these. Yeah, they do. The 1/4 inch ones, which is normally what most people's surface cleaners would use. And then they've got these 1/8 inch ones. 1/8 inch. So I guess that's what this would take. Does your van not just need AdBlue? I think I read that. Got hypo from PWS. Nice. Gonna add Pure Surf from Pure Seal. Doesn't the PWS hypo come pre-mixed with something, or am I wrong? Isn't it Pink Power? No, that says degreasing. Which one's their hypo? I don't know. I need to talk to Darren about that. I don't know. No idea. Carry on cleaning, welcome. They won't supply to exterior cleaning in your local Mole Valley farmers. That's interesting. Why do they get to dictate what you're using it for? Can you not just like set up an account for and pretend that you're using it for farming? That's a weird one. I get mine from TFM farm stores. TFM farm shop. How many jobs have you had from your website in total? Maybe like since I set it up at the end of September, maybe I've had 30-40 jobs from it. I've not done Instagram or TikTok. How does it work? You'd have to just get on there, mate, and have a play. TikTok is more for videos. Instagram, you can do videos or pictures. I probably wouldn't use TikTok for trying to generate work. TikTok's good for like satisfying content and stuff, and to sort of build a following. I don't think I'd use Instagram. I don't think I'd use Instagram for generating work either, to be honest. Some people swear by it, but I haven't. I've got I've got a few jobs from Instagram, but not many at all. It was like that green scoop with a longer handle, about a broom's length at the bottom of the scoop. It had holes in for drainage, so you can just collect the mud. That's a good idea, without kneeling down. That's a really good idea. I'd be keen to see what that is. Started my 600 metre square school clean today. 180 metre squared done. Holmes, was that in one day? You've done 180 metre squared. And what surface was that? Because that's very good going. You know, block paving or tarmac. That's a good area to aim for, like, per day. Hunts, welcome, mate. How you doing? Does anyone use the Dosatron? Who's just put out a new Dosatron? Pure Seal. Pure Seal have just released their version of a Dosatron. I wonder if you can find it by searching Dosatron. Bulldozer, that's what it's called. They've got a sale on the bulldozer, look. Although I'm not logged in, so I can't see how much it costs. They make you log in now if you want to buy anything from Pure Seal. And I think the Dosatron is mainly for buyer side. I don't think you use it for hypo, do you? Happy birthday. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Sirius. Ionics is the only one that's safe. Three guys in the last 6 years have died from cleaning solar panels. One guy I know ended up in hospital. Gardener says the end cap in theirs is helpful. Okay. Thanks, P. Moore. I got a scaffolding tower from Facebook brand new and delivered for 250 quid. Wow. Is that like a repeat sale thing, or was it just like a one-off item that you randomly found? The last section of the gardener pole is insulated. That's good to know. Yeah, serious, you got a link? Monday Mackie D's didn't bring you any McFlurry for your birthday. No. No McFlurries anymore. Did you build that tower? Yes. I'm in Surrey, so it depends where you are, as there are various businesses like 150 jet wash sellers. What was up with the pressure washer guy in Holland? They sure look after their streets. Did I put it on my story? I bet it's not available now, is it? Looked like he had a decent setup going. I think he was steam cleaning. I haven't got my story up anymore. I could probably put it in the Discord. Oh, come on. Where's the vid? So I saw, on the way, I saw one in Birmingham Airport that was pressure washing outside. Didn't look like he was doing a particularly good job, to be honest. He was just sort of rinsing. And then there was one in Amsterdam at about 9 o'clock at night doing some street cleaning. Looked like he was steam cleaning. I just can't get away from it. So this was the one in Birmingham Airport. Just sort of going super fast, just like, I don't know what he's achieving there, but he's happy. And then these guys Sophie's like, you seriously filming? Looked like a pretty decent setup they had going. And also this sounded this didn't sound like a normal pressure washer that I'm used to hearing. I should have asked what they were using, because it didn't sound like a normal like petrol engine. It sounded like nothing I've heard before. It was like a low pitched like rumble. I don't know whether like diesel engines sound different or not compared to petrols, but it sounded like a much lower pitched, like it had like a big silenced exhaust on it or something. Sounded like a Citroen Saxo with a massive exhaust on it, just idling. The tower was not difficult to put together. It was actually very easy to put together. The only difficult thing was that some of the little pins, the pins that are on springs, they were quite rusty, so I had to get a hammer on some of them to like, so that the quick release thing actually worked. The Profoam has little insert pieces which control the flow. Think of it like changing the nozzle. Yeah, the X-Jet have got proportioners as well. I was asking specifically about like, can you adjust the spread on the Profoamer? Would that be good for gutter cleaning, that spray thing? If you can direct it high enough, you can apply chemicals to the gutters. Greg, welcome. How many wheeze tonight? Only 2 tonight so far, but I've still got a couple of beers left. Have you tried using the Titan Pro joint for repointing Indian sandstone? No. What is that? When people say Titan, it makes me think of Screwfix's Titan range. I saw a video of someone using this. It looked decent, but it doesn't look any... Really, it doesn't look any different to what I'm using at the moment. There's a video of this. The guy's voice is really monotone, even more monotone than mine, which is saying something. It was a short. Not going to find it, am I? Not going to find it. Why can't I search? I can't search on Instagram apparently. Okay, whatever. I have seen that stuff, but yeah. How much is the foam gun? I think it said it was about 185 plus VAT. It doesn't have a variable nozzle like the X-Jet. That's interesting. So you're limited to one spray pattern, one spread, whatever it sort of gives you. Because with the X-Jet, you can change it so it shoots really far, or just so that it's like a fan up close. That's interesting. Josh Skinner says, "Hi Jake, happy birthday, thank you." JS Hydroforce here. Been watching you for about a year now and just started my own exterior cleaning business, and you've helped a lot, thank you. Josh, I'm very happy for you. Thank you for watching. Very cool when I see messages like that. How's it going so far, mate? Is it are you as busy as you want to be? Some of the products I see on Equip to Clean make me want to rebrand their business to Equip to Meme. That's funny. Equip to Meme. It does look like the occasional advert that comes up. It does look like something from like AliExpress or Temu. I think the 34-inch surface cleaner would be more for doing forecourts at petrol stations or big car parks. Yeah, you're probably right. I think you'd be alright on concrete or tarmac. I think you'd be wasting your time on block paving. Thank God for TFM started after the previous company went bust. Is that right? Is that what happened? No link, Jake, but I posted the guy's name and business for the tower. I think I missed it. Hi, sorry I had to go. Did you cover how you guys put a quote together? Let's do that now. I've got a quote to do that came through from my website earlier. I'm going to go and have a proper look tomorrow, I think. Okay, let's pull all that out. Get rid of the address. Let's do that. Do that. I think we're fine with that. Okay, so this came through from my website. This is the first picture. So big block paved area. Doesn't look too dirty, to be fair. There's weeds coming through, which is very normal. The joints are very close together, which is good for like not using loads of sand. Although these blocks are quite thick, so they do take a little bit of extra sand compared to normal. I think it's 50mm block pavers. I think these are 60mm or 65. I can't remember. And then it wraps around the side. Got this little bit down the side of the house. Can't see drainage being an issue just because it's just going to end up going off the sides, isn't it? Got the area going down the side between the garage there. We've got this little area in the corner by whatever that is. Is that some sort of air conditioner? Or some sort of solar panel thing? Batteries for the solar panels or something? I don't know. Around the front of the house, we've got some steps. Looks like some composite granite steps, maybe. And then just some more block paving. Sort of entrance area to the front of the house. And then we've got this, maybe like a double drive. Looks a bit bigger than your standard double drive. Jetflow, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thanks for becoming a boosted member. That's crazy. Thank you so much. You've now got access to over 250 images for you to use in your marketing, however you choose. So if you join the Discord, there's a boosted members section in the Discord here. And then if you scroll to the top of here, you'll have a link to all these different images that you can then download and use in your advertising. Thanks for becoming a member. There's those steps in the corner. Probably going to want to clean the bottom of those bricks as well. And then Google Earth. Unfortunately, Google Earth is showing this property where it's not fully complete yet. So we're going to have to do a little bit of guessing. And I think based on the images we've seen, we can fairly accurately guess the bits that are going to need cleaning. Sirius, if you're posting links, they're not going to appear in the chat. They're going to be deleted. Just automatically, that's just what happens. So if you want to just say the name or something instead, maybe that might be helpful. So this is not a good example of Google Earth working well. But we can go into Street View. And we'll go down here. And this is the house that's, is complete now. So much better accurate representation. I didn't notice this bit on the front here, so that's not in the photos, and presumably they're going to want to include that, aren't they, because it's all part of the property. So we'll probably just quote for that as well. And we've got some steps coming down at the front as well, which we haven't seen in the images, so it's always good to check the other views as well. So there's no path by the looks of it going around the side. It just sort of stops at the front door, so that's good to know. Lovely house. Yeah, I think we can get a decent I think we can decently predict how we're going to measure this out. Let me just refer back to one of those pictures again. So yeah, it does just go in front of the front door, doesn't it? I think it stops there. Cool. Right, let's measure this up. I'm assuming it's the width of this, based on the photos. So let's go from the front door. Steps. I think it cuts in by the steps here slightly. So we'll do that. Big double drive. Path down the side of the house. I always account for a little bit of overhang on these roofs. So if you find me cutting into some of these roofs, that's wise, because there's normally about that much overhang, maybe like up to a foot. Now this bit's going to be a little bit more tricky. I think we're going to go out to there. And then we're going to go across to here. I might change this slightly in a bit. The difference with using Google Earth on your phone is that once you've placed a point, you can place the point and then undo that last place point. But once you've placed all the points and joined it up at the end, you can't then go and move them around afterwards like you can on the desktop version. Just something to be aware of. So there's a big grass bit here. Can I go across without losing my work? There's a grass bit in the middle here, and I can't accurately remove that from this measurement. So I'm going to assume 3 by 4. I'm going to remove 12 square meters from the total to account for that area. And then we're about there by the looks of it. There. Okay. What do we think of that? Is that fairly accurate? Bring that in slightly. Is that fair? I think that's about right. Okay, 240 meters squared minus about 12. let's say 230 meters squared to be on the safe side. We also haven't accounted for this bit at the front. So 230 meters squared plus 250 meters squared. I'm going to go into my quoting tool now, which you've all got access to if you want to use it. It's at smelt.club. 250. It's block paving, so it's going to need resanding afterwards. So I'm going to stick with my £3 per square metre as my base price. But then I'm going to click on resanding, which is going to allow me to adjust some figures based on how much I'm buying my sand for. So it's coming out at about 992 for that area for 250 meters squared. Has anyone got any thoughts on that price? He's got lots of efflorescence on these walls. Lots of, it looks like damp mortar. Have we got bricks running around the border there as well? I wonder if he's going to ask us to do those. Oh, there's bricks running around that outside edge and this underside edge here. Maybe a bit more than 250 square meters then. TFM in Bromsgrove was countrywide. They went bust and someone bought out the store. We would have to go miles for hypo if not. Oh, really? Yeah, I'll go to the one in Bromsgrove, Stoke Heath. Thank you, pal. It's going good. I started properly 1 month ago tomorrow, and since then I've had 8 patios, 5 driveways, and a good few dormers. Always had a good review, so I believe I'm doing a good job so far. That's amazing. If you started a month ago, you've already done 8 patios and 5 driveways. That's so good. Well done. Honestly, that's really good. Take pictures of everything. Build that portfolio. About the same here. 250 meters at 370 per meter. 925. Are we saying that's reasonable? I think I'm buying my sand for more like £4.50 from Travis Perkins at the moment, so that does bring it down a tad. And I might not need 17 bags on this because those joints are quite thin. So that could bring it down even more, you know, to more like 930, 940. I think I'll still visit tomorrow anyway. But now that I've got an idea, now that I've got a price in mind, I can visit a little bit more informed than what I was before I did this. I mean, it is a big old area. It's a hell of a lot of block paving to clean. I think last time I cleaned the nursery, was it a nursery? It was a garden centre. I think I did around about 180 square meters in a day, but that was like particularly bad. The block paving was like really, really weedy. Just trying to find it now. Was it this long ago? Come on, where was it? This one. So this garden centre was really, really weedy. And I did... It was 325 square metres. And I think I did about 170 on the first day. But like you can see, it's really bad compared to that one we just quoted. Lots of black spots, which I'm hoping the hypo is going to get rid of. The biocide is going to get rid of. There's going to be much less sludge and stuff from this one that we just looked at compared to this garden centre, because there was a hell of a lot that came up from this. I did about 10 wheelbarrows, 10 full wheelbarrows. Fair enough if it's right measurement. Are you not adding the cost for chemical application for that quote? Generally, I'm using chemicals on pretty much everything I'm doing now. Say, for example, I've got 50 square meters of concrete slabs to pressure wash. If I'm using chemicals, I'm going to bump this base price up to about £3.50. And that adds 25 quid to the total, and that covers the cost of my chemicals and the time to apply them, time to dwell, rinsing it all off, etc. If I'm just washing tarmac, there's no sort of maintenance plan or after treatment, I might not be applying chemicals, in which case I'll drop that down to just £3. With block paving, I'm sort of accounting for the chemicals in the total price anyway. I think you're probably right. That could go up to £3.50 really. And so my final price is around about £4.50 for block paving with chemicals. I probably should do that. You're right. If I'm going to be consistent with myself, I should add that extra 50p per square metre for chemical application. That does sound reasonable. A great place to advertise is next door neighbour's site. I get so much work from there. That's interesting. Some people recommend Bark. Some people recommend Yelp. Nextdoor. Yeah, there's a bunch of different places you could try. The driveway doesn't even look mucky. Yeah, you're right. You are right. But it's exactly the same process to clean it, regardless of whether it's dirty or clean. I'll still end up turboing the whole lot. I'll still end up chemically treating it. So some people say that they'll message me and say, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that dirty." And it's like, yeah, but I'm still doing the same job, regardless of how dirty you think it is. For me to offer you a full service and to do the job to my standard is still going to take me the same amount of time. And so I'm going to price it exactly the same as if it was filthy. I very rarely put a markup on, if a surface is like particularly dirty, I very rarely mark up, to be honest. I only ever increase the price if it's got really bad drainage, really bad water pressure, or bad access. But this has probably got none of those things. It'd be nice to test the water pressure before I commit to a price, but it is what it is. I've been putting the word out for like 8 months now, and most of them are close friends and family. Be getting cards and flyers soon. So excited as word of mouth so far has been a dream. That's where I'd recommend everyone starts. Before you start thinking about putting money into like Google ads or boosting your posts on Facebook or paying for a website even in the early days, get some content first. Get some pictures and videos of jobs that you've done through friends and family and recommendations, because there's no point in having a website if you've got no content. There's no point, if you've got no reviews on if you've got no reviews on your Facebook page, there's no point in running Facebook ads or boosting your Facebook posts, because people are going to click on your page and you've either got no content or no reviews, so they're not going to get in touch. Just a waste of money. I really do believe before and after pictures are everything. take pictures of every single thing that you do, build a portfolio, and try and generate a following before you start paying for leads or paying for advertising. It's worked for me. It might not be, it might not work for everyone. I think Craig, one of the lads in my Discord, he swears by leaflets. I think he said he got like 70% of his work from leaflets, which I can't get on with leaflets. I've got one job from posting over 700 leaflets. I don't think my leaflets are particularly bad. I think they're fine. Can you mock up a quote based on bad water pressure and or drainage? What's your process for that? I don't have a process, honestly. I might stick an extra 25 to 50 quid on. It's like pots and plants. If I've got to go around moving 20 or 30 pots off the patio, I'll charge between 15 and 30 quid. Because if I've got to spend the first half an hour moving stuff and breaking my back before I've even started the job, I'm going to charge you for that unless you can move it yourself. Like, I'll give you the option. You can either get someone to move it for you, family member or whatever, or I'm going to have to charge you for that extra time it's going to take me. And they're all very understanding. As long as you explain why the price is higher and you give them options, they're I've never had anyone dispute. To be fair, I don't think I've ever had anyone dispute why the price is the price. I don't think I charge particularly higher than a lot of people in the industry, but no one has ever said, how can you justify that price? Which is a question that I've been waiting to be asked. Because when some people say, oh, for this job is going to take me 2-3 days in total, including resanding. And I don't really work full days, so probably 9 till 3 on the first day, and then whatever I miss on the first day, I'll finish on the second day, and then I've got to wait for it to dry before I can come back and spend a couple of hours resanding it. And so when you say 950 quid for 2 days work or 2.5 days work, it's like, it's a good whack, isn't it? But it's like, yeah, but it's also all the equipment that I've paid for that allow me to do the job so quickly, and all the the courses that I've been on that help me understand which chemicals to use to get you these results, and just experience. I think people should pay for your experience. I could give you the number for someone who's going to do it much cheaper for you, but they won't do a good as job. Someone will do that for 200 quid. They won't do a good job. You just got to weigh it up and figure out what's reasonable. And also figure out what you're happy to work for. There's one conversation where people are saying, oh, you're going to drive the price of the industry down, which I totally understand and I appreciate. But on the other hand, it's like, if you're happy earning 200 quid a day, and this is going to take you 2.5 days, 500 quid, a lot of people would be very happy with that. But have you really worked out exactly what you need to be earning per day to cover all your costs, to cover your tax bill at the end of the year, and to allow room for upgrades and maintenance on all your equipment? Have you actually sat down and figured out how much money you need to make every day? Because me and my accountant did. So it's like, don't get me onto the subject of day rates. I need another wee. A game changer.
There's something cool about
Repointing this patio is a game changer.
There's nothing worse as a landscaper when you're trying to get a job done because you want to get paid and you're trying to point at a small paved area like we're doing this morning. But we're able to do that because we're using easy joint. To make sure that you're using fresh product, what you need to do is you'll see it's on a shrink wrapped package. Straight in, you can hear the air sucking. Have a look at this now. When you pour it out, hopefully you'll have no lumps. If you've got any lumps in there, just take it back to the supplier and they'll change it for you. Shouldn't happen. This is the mushroom colour. Oh, I've got a soft brush and I've got a stiff brush. We've got the mushroom on the floor. Here we go. It's as simple as that. If you've never used any of these products before, they're very, very simple. Okay, you've got to make sure that in the joints that you get enough of the easy joint down here. Don't be using your finger, I'm just using this for demonstration purposes, but you need to make sure, and you use your jointing iron, and we can strike that up in between, compacting the easy joint, and it's going to last and it's going to have some longevity.
Is it good stuff? Is it any good?
As you can see, on a small path like this, it's absolutely perfect.
Oh,
You're happy, the customer's happy.
He's using a much softer brush than I've used
You're
in the
gonna
past.
Get paid. It's raining, but the job can get done. You've got to make sure that you actually install it correctly. Read what it says on the can and do what it says on the can. And if you look at this, it's an absolutely perfect colour match for this paving. Well, there you have it. Easy joint. It's simply a game changer.
Does he work for them or something? That's what he's doing. When he used that compactor then, he compacted it and then swept it off afterwards and then compacted it again and then compacted it again. And that's the bit that I've been struggling with, is because look, the joints are smooth here. They've got a flat finish. He's compacting it. He's sweeping it. But now there's loads of loose stuff in the joint again. And now he's compacting it again. But I don't necessarily like leaving such a deep canal. And those joints now are smooth. So has he gone back, has he refilled it again? Which is what I do. I compact it and then refill the joint again to make it level with the top of the thing. And that way I know the joint is totally full and I've got a flat finish on the surface rather than having that compacted finish where you're going to get like standing water and moisture and stuff, and it can, people say it can freeze and pop out the joints in very cold weather, but like the water will freeze in those wells and cause the jointing stuff to pop out, but it's permeable, so I can't really see that happening. Interesting. I don't think that was the video I wanted to look at anyway. There's a different stuff that I was looking at. I am quite interested in flow point because the flow point stuff is like much more runny and it sets quite quickly apparently, and so you've got to like work quite quickly, and if you leave anything on the faces of the joints it's going to dry and it's going to be an absolute nightmare to remove. Someone said it was like impossible to remove, but I think that's an exaggeration. But surely Flowpoint, doesn't Flowpoint require like the area to be completely flat? Because doesn't it just rest at the lowest point? Does it not dribble out the sides? I suppose it's got to be quite thick, hasn't it? Because Flowpoint's like ideal if you can use this stuff. Surely that's the best way to do it rather than jointing compound, but I think there's a lot more risk and it's a little bit more difficult, a little bit more setup involved. The patio job that I did, I used joint it from Pure Seal. Hi mate, do you normally quote in person or use Google Maps? The smaller jobs where possible, I use Google Maps. So I think sometimes with the smaller jobs, it's more important to get the quote in quickly than it is to go out and visit in person. Some people just want a quick quote, like a nice dirty quick quote. Quick and dirty quote. You get what I'm trying to say. Because if someone's shopping around and they're getting multiple quotes, if you can come back the quickest with like a reasonable price, you're pretty... There's a good chance you're going to land that work. Oh look, he's cleaning it off before it dries. It's cleaning it off his tools before it dries. Is that actually broke or is it just popped out? I think it's just popped out. But with the bigger jobs, I think it's important to go and meet them and sort of build a rapport with the customer and show them who you are. So like this one tomorrow, I mean, still, I'm not going to meet the customer. I'm just going to have a look around because they're going to be out, but yeah, it's not ideal in that situation. Oh, he's got a squeegee look. That's so scary, putting that material onto that freshly laid porcelain. He's just walking over it in his boots. Oh, that looks like it could potentially be such a messy job. Yeah, that's just too scary for me. Because you've just like ground out and pressure washed all the joints. And then you go and cover it all with this stuff. Looks like he's keeping it wet. Bringing it all back towards him. Now he's using a broom. It doesn't actually look like it's filling these joints, to be honest. I wonder if he's got it a bit too wet there. On the edges you can see it's fallen away at the back there. It's fallen down the back. It said it took 10 minutes to set. Do you want it to set before you've cleaned it off? Yeah, the edges are totally gone. Which you'd expect for like a non-viscous product. And then I think they just sort of go over it and like polish it off with a sponge. That's got to be such a messy job though. You get it everywhere. Oh, he's actually pressure washing it now. Aren't you just going to pressure wash it back out the joints? If it's not set properly on the surface, then surely it's not set between the joints either. Thought you would have had to wet the surface more. Does that Pro joint stuff dry hard, or is it sandy? No, I think it will all dry hard. All these jointing compounds all dry hard. Yeah, you always get rid of the old pointing when you're rejointing like this. So tempted to build a Spencer Clary's budget soft wash setup, but I don't know if it will work in the UK. Spencer Clays? Is that an American YouTuber by any chance? I think Darren's looking into doing a soft wash setup, like a 12 volt pump pre-mix soft wash setup thing. I think most people understand the price per square meter side of things. I come across a lot of questions in regards to the other variables such as chemicals, surfaces, drainage, etc. Yeah, I think a lot of it comes with experience. I haven't, because these things are quite rare when you get like terrible drainage issues or terrible water pressure. It's hard to have a process and like a set price for things. He has a video building one for 250 quid. So yeah, it does look good, doesn't it? My worry would be you fill the joints up, you've pressure washed the stuff off the top. My worry would be that you pressure wash too much out from between the joints. I mean, that looks perfect, doesn't it? That looks really good. It looks like he's managed to fill the edges as well. Somehow. I wonder if he's put tape down the back. Oh no, he hasn't, look. I mean, that's to be expected really, isn't it? Unless you tape up the corners of each one of those things. What's he showing there? Is that the flow point that's dried?
Onto the floor. So if you stay tuned, I'll show you a little trick I've got of how to do the edges a little bit later on. Just wanted to show you this, right? This is a sample that I was showing our nice customers. So this is the Fuga Pave Flexi CH grout. I didn't mix it properly. It was just to get the colour and put it into the joint to show the customer. But this is what we're using today. This is the flow point. And as you can see, I've put both products in. And the good thing about these, especially with the slurry grout, because it's very liquefied, is it's filling up the whole joint. There we are. Like you can see, it's actually spilled out onto the back.
Wow, that's really
good. When
good.
you're filling your joints up with what the product we're using today, it's actually filling the whole entirety of the joint up, which in my book is really, really good. So if you're doing yours, do what I'm doing now. I've done that a little bit. I've done just under halfway. I've done it, cleaned all the tools. I haven't showed you that. It's in the background, that is. All the tools are clean now, ready for the next bit of flow point in. Take time out, have a little drink, read a book, do whatever you want. Go and use the Portaloo. Chill, and then get back and do the next bit. So yeah, it's all about doing this on your own. Is doing it doing it as a pace that suits you. So I'm having 5 minutes right since I sat down. I've come back and the sun's come out and it's got even hotter, so we're gonna have to be really, really careful now. So what I'm gonna do, you got the gist of it. I'm gonna set you up on a time lapse. I'm not gonna show you any mixing. I'm just gonna set you up on a time lapse of me sticking it in, jet washing it off, and then I'll come back to you at the end. And don't forget, stay tuned, because I'll show you a little trick about getting these edges in as well, and a few more points along the way.
Feel recharged.
It looks really thick there. It looks really thick, but then when he wets it down afterwards like that, it's suddenly gone really thin. Looks like he's just given it a literally like a light pressure wash to get rid of the excess on the surface. I don't know how that's not taking out the joints. How are you able to pressure wash the surface but leave enough in the joints? Maybe that's where like a low powered Karcher comes in. What's he doing?
Give a man a little bit of bloody privacy. Dear good God alive.
What on earth?
Right, let's show you this. I got to be quick here because even I'm getting caught out with this. So this mix now, look, as you can see, it's starting to get stiff and it'll go stiff really, really quick. So less chat, more work. I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to get my hand underneath with a glove on and I'm going to push that into there. And what that'll do is, because it's more firm, it'll stay in the joint. So I'm going to go all the way around and do that. And trust me, look, you can already see without me putting my hand on there, that's staying in the joint, look. So that's what I'm going to do. I can't show you too much.
I'm sure you could use a bit of...
And I got to get on with it.
I'm sure you could use a bit of masking tape.
Whew, trust me, you didn't see that, but that was one hell of a workout because the stuff's going off. It's actually gone off in the bucket. It's rock solid. So, oh, God, that was hard work. Anyway, so what I do, I put it in the joint with a pointing trowel like you saw. Sorry,
is he being sarcastic?
A bit quick, so I couldn't show you. But put it in there with a jointing bar. Stick your finger underneath so it holds in.
I can't tell if he's being sarcastic, saying like it was really hard work, because he's got like a slightly sarcastic tone to his voice, but I've not watched him before, so maybe not.
The joint, and then what you do then, you just do that all the way along. So I went all the way up there, all the way around here, and I've done all the steps, barring those steps over there, the ends as well. And then what you do then is you come back and you get your glove, you wet it with a bit of water, with a jet wash, just that haze on top again, and then with your glove you just wash it all off and get all the residue off. And what you're doing with your glove and the feel, you're shaping the joint on the front and underneath, and then you leave it, you move on to the next one, you do all those, and then when you've eventually done that, you just jet wash it all off the same as before. So that's that one, look. And
he's probably already explained earlier in the video that you're not like jet washing down into the joints, you're just taking the top layer off, but obviously trying to watch it like this with you guys, I'm just sort of scrolling through it and muting it and stuff and talking over it and ruining the whole video. I just got a proportionate off eBay, like a XJet style thing. Can you video it next time when you're taking the joints and then filling it with the jointy stuff? I've got a video that I did a couple of weeks ago on my channel, if you're interested in seeing that whole process. This one here, 2 weeks ago. Product.
The all-new
Oh God, these adverts. These adverts are killing me. Looks like he's keeping the top. I can't read that. Looks like he's keeping the top residue moving so it won't set. Yeah, okay, so it's set in between the joints, but because he keeps wetting the top layer, he's not allowing it to set. That's a good point. It's crazy how it reacts so quickly and sets so quick. Yeah, in this video, I clean and repoint this whole patio. Let's play it on 2x so you can just see the area. Most of the pointing was gone anyway, but there were still quite a few bits that I needed to grind out. Wasn't a very nice job, this one, to be honest. It was, the steps were really annoying. I ended up losing so much material down the back of those steps because the gaps were so thick. But it worked out in the end. 17 bags of sand. Are you kidding? 8 bags will be plenty for 250 square meters. Steve, calm down, bro. 17 bags of sand is based on 1 bag for every 15 meters squared. So that stands to reason. 45 would give you 3 bags, yeah. But that's based on like average size joints, I suppose, whereas this one is very thin joints. You can see from this picture. That's going to take hardly any sand. And so you've got to take this figure here with a pinch of salt. Steve, I think you're really far behind. You might want to refresh the live stream because we were talking about this probably about half an hour ago now. Take that figure with a pinch of salt. This is just giving you like something to work with, like a rough estimate to work with if you've not resanded block paving before. Better to be on the high side than not to take enough to the job and be caught out. I've done that a couple of times where I've thought, oh, I'll get away with 3 bags of sand there. And then I needed 3.5 bags of sand. And it's so annoying having to pack up your stuff, go to the shop, get another bag of sand. Because I don't buy sand in bulk. I've got nowhere to keep it all. So I only buy exactly how much I think I need for each job. But take that figure with a pinch of salt. That's just like a guide for your maximum, really. Have you used the setting jointing sand for block paving? No, I want to use that. So I think what Mark is talking about is a product that I've noticed on Pure Seal. Lindsay Knight, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. So Joint It do a product called Joint It Fine, which I'm really keen to try because I think I'd prefer to use this if the customer's requirement is normally it's sealing because the customer wants the sand between the joints to be set hard, and they think, oh, if I get it sealed, if I get the driveway sealed, I'll get the hard set joints and I won't have any weeds coming back. Obviously that's not true because weeds will always come back eventually. But if I can achieve hard setting sand between the joints without having to go through the process of sealing the entire area, one, it's going to be slightly cheaper, only slightly because I have done the maths. I had an area where I had a block paved area that needed sealing, and then I priced up an area to seal it, locking that sand between the joints, and then I priced up the same area to buy this jointing compound to do it that way instead, and it was cheaper, but not by loads. But I think you're taking so much risk out of the job by doing it this way rather than sealing it, especially in the early days. If you've not got much experience with sealer, but the customer wants something that's going to help prolong the time it's going to take for those weeds to start coming back through. Got to be really careful with your language here because it's not going to prevent weeds, but it will help prevent weeds. Then this could be like a really good option, and I'm really keen to have a go with it. It is quite expensive, but it could be well worth it, couldn't it? I don't charge for chemical application, it's just part of the job, and a litre of hypo is like 70p. I don't charge for sanding, I just give a global price and factor those things in. Yeah, fair enough. 70p a litre. How are you getting hypo for 17 quid? For 25 litres? Wait. Wait. I've had a couple of beers. Yeah, £17.50 for 25 litres of hypo. Where are you getting that from? Also, you know, depending on where you're buying your sand from, where you're buying your chemicals from, if I'm chemically treating block paving and I'm using 25-30 quid's worth of sand, which is fairly normal, and I'm using 5 to 10 litres of hypo, which is fairly normal, why wouldn't I suppose if you're accounting it... Steve, do you mind sharing how much you're charging per square metre? Because that's... I suppose it's only relevant if you're eating that cost yourself and you're not charging equivalent to... Say my cost for block paving, including resanding, is like £4.50 per square metre. If you're charging £3.50 or £4 per square metre, you're just eating the cost of all that sand that you've just bought and all those chemicals that you've bought, regardless of how big the area is. That doesn't sound... In that condition with the surface cleaner, it's a day. It'd be 850 quid all in. I'm fascinated that you can get these kinds of grass and weeds up with a surface cleaner. I'd love for you to send me, because we've spoken about this for a while, haven't we, Steve? We've gone back and forth about this. I'm not convinced that you can clean that effectively with a surface cleaner. Next time you do, I want you to send me a video. Because if you're just doing 1 or 2 passes over that area and it's clearing the weeds and roots and grass from between the joints, and you're not having to go back over it with a turbo nozzle, which sort of defeats the purpose of the surface cleaner in the first place, I want to know what you're doing differently compared to me. Because I would happily go over this whole area with the surface cleaner and cut in the edges with the turbo and then rinse it down and do the chemical treatment. And like you, I'd get that done in a day. That'd be no problem. But I'm not going to get good results with my surface cleaner on that area. I just know for a fact I'm not. So what are you doing differently? Is sanding and jointed different? Like, does sand fly off eventually? No, sand's not as stable. Just kiln dried sand in these joints isn't as stable. If you get like very, very heavy rain, there's a chance that it can wash out. And also, it's much softer and it allows weeds and grass to come back up through much quicker. If the jointed stuff is hard set between the joints, it's creating a barrier, and the weeds and grass and roots and whatever aren't going to be able to grow through as quick. This music is stressing me out. It's like a rave. Jeez. Getting out of breath then. So yeah, it's much better for like prolonging, keeping away the weed growth for as long as possible if you can set that sand between the joints somehow, either through sealing it or using the hard setting jointing compound. What do you reckon the best roof pole is to apply chemical? I think you could get a fairly cheap Gardener SLX pole, CLX pole. So I use the CLX 22, which is a fairly short. I mean, it's done everything I've needed it to do, but I've got the CLX 22. It's a fiberglass carbon composite pole, and that's one of the cheaper ones, because it's like a composite rather than a full carbon fiber one. And that's absolutely fine for brushing chemicals on. If that's all you want it to do is brush chemicals on, absolutely fine. If you're going to be scraping roofs or doing high pressure roof cleaning, you're going to probably want something a little bit stiffer. So for my for pressure washing roofs, I'm using the Gutter Vacuum Systems Pro 35 pole. Which includes the conversion adapter. Why is it not coming up? Here it is. Pro 35 power pole. And it comes with all the bits already in the box for you to turn it into like a high pressure water fed pole. And that's nice and stiff. Stiffer than my CLX 22, I think. But it has to be because I'm putting high pressure through it. I see, good video, you're grinding it out with an electric grinder. Yes, exactly. In the UK, do you need a license to spray hypo? No. Walker Bros is where you're getting your hypo from. I think you showed me these guys before, haven't you? Oh, they do back 50, look. 15% sodium hypochlorite. Oh, you've got to inquire. Is that shipped, Steve? That's very interesting. I'll have to bookmark these guys. Send them an inquiry. I wonder if they do surfactant. No way, can't get that out with the surface cleaner. Grass has annoying roots. To say how the new house is how bad the grass and weeds have come through. To say how the new... I'm not sure what that means. I think you're saying, considering how new the house is, it's pretty bad that the grass is coming through like that already. I agree. If that had like a good sub base with a good weed barrier, you shouldn't really see grass and weeds like that for a long, long time, really, on a new build. Anyone here from Northern Ireland? There's a bunch of lads in my Discord that are from Northern Ireland. Speaking of which, let me check if the map has the map been fixed, because someone messed around with my map the other day. Jordan, welcome. Oh, it looks like it's been fixed. So these are all the lads that are in my pressure washing group. There's a few in Northern Ireland. Michael Stewart. Oh, this is Nye Clean. How do you say that? Northern Ireland Cleaning. I thought it was Nil Clean. NIIClean.com. They've got some good stuff. Pressure washing packages and everything. Loads of stuff they've got. But yeah, if you're part of my Discord group and you haven't already, add your... You don't have to do your exact address, just your rough town or area or whatever. And that way, if you get quotes from other places or you need to team up on a job with someone, you can just contact someone that's local, part of the Discord, and jump on it with them. I need to change the colours of all these to some are suppliers, but most of them are other people that do the pressure washing stuff. Also, a couple of discounts and offers in the Discord. Can I connect a pole to a 12-volt pump? Yes, so you can do what I've done with my gardener pole. When I ordered my pole, I spec'd it with the free angle adapter. I went for a medium soft brush, 250 degree fan jets, which helps spread the chemicals out in like a nice fan pattern. I went for the all seasons PVC hose, but the important bit was that I went for a anti-snag hose lock male plug, and that means that I can attach it to like a normal garden hose, but I can also attach it to the gardener backpack. This is a 12-volt pump, and I spec'd this one with the Aquastop female adapter, the Kleber Aquastop fitting, and that means that male adapter goes into this female adapter. It's this one here. So that comes out the gardener backpack. You can fill it with chemicals or pure water or whatever you want to put in it, biocide, and then you can just brush it on with your water-fed pole. I think I put up quite a decent video recently on my reels. Where's my reels? I'm not going to be able to find it. It was when I was doing this one. Nope. This is essentially what I've been doing. Look. Water-fed pole, biocide, and it goes on nicely. Where did I put that reel? Was it on my TikTok? Here it is. So if you get the nozzles right, you don't even have to brush it in. So obviously here I'd started at the bottom. I'd already done all the bottom, and I've worked from bottom to top. And luckily I could stand on this flat roof on the top. And yeah, it just goes on really nicely. Nice spread on those 50-degree fan jets. Have you done a video of soft washing render? I've never cleaned render, believe it or not. There's a good video a chap put up recently. I can't remember his name. All he does, this guy, jet ready exterior cleaning. Oh, it's not this guy, but there's a chap on YouTube that just cleans render. But I found this one. This one was very informative. Jet ready exterior cleaning. Very professional video as well. He's like well presented, confident in front of the camera. It was like a very good video. I need to get YouTube Premium, don't I? All these adverts. This chap's using the gardener backpack with a brush, wetting down all the plants and stuff first. Mask up, hood on, eye protection. The other thing you can get for the gardener backpack, so he's literally just scrubbing on. I can't remember whether he's using hypo or biocide on this one, but from Gardener you can also get to go onto the gardener backpack, you can get this little spray lance, which I'm quite keen to try actually. This would be really good for soft washing, for just applying hypo to like ground surfaces and stuff. If you've not got an X-Jet, or if you've not got whatever, you can use a gardener backpack and just attach one of these to it, and I think that would be quicker than using like a pump sprayer and then spraying the whole area. It does mean carrying like a 20-litre backpack around with you, which they do get heavy when they're full of product. It must be hypo. You can see already it's already working. I don't think he gets rid of the algae on the first run. Sorry, the red algae. I think red algae takes a little bit longer, which is where you probably want to use biocide. But just sodium hypochlorite on like standard green and black algae normally gets it off within minutes. I'd be quite confident to do some render cleaning. I think I know the process. I know how to do it. I just haven't had any inquiries for render, which is really weird. I've been doing this 2.5 years and I've not had one render inquiry. The backpack looks very weak. I use the J-rod. Yeah, I think you've got very good control. Very good control with the gardener backpack, but you're right, the flow is limited to about 2 litres per minute, I think, 2.5 litres per minute. Look at that, man. So good. Soft wash guy, is that who it is? There you go, look.
And I'll walk you around. So nice views. And you can see down the bottom here, really quite stained. So this wall's particularly bad. A lot of green algae on there. The chimney. And then this back wall here, you can see it's particularly...
Why's my camera keep turning off?
A lot of mould, algae on there. Again,
I have sped this video up. It's not normally like this.
that's the algae. That's going to fill it up. And then this wall here, this is looking particularly bad. And we'll really transform this.
I want a lovely time lapse of that side. I hope he does that.
The homeowner contacted us because they wanted to put the property on the market to sell, and he was told by all the painters and decorators that contacted that it would be at least 12 months before they could get to.
I've been told that you don't need a PA1 or PA6 for a hypo, as it's illegal to use it. You've been told that you do or you don't need a PA1 or PA6. It's illegal to use it, and that bends have the only chemical that can be used legally. Lightning cleanse. Odd that everyone uses hypo, if that's true. I've not heard anything to say that it's illegal to use hypo. And PA1 and PA6, as far as I'm aware, that's for that's not for hypo. That's for weed killer. Do you know how to price render soft wash? Is it like £100 per wall? I have no idea. No, that's a good question. I don't know how to price. I don't know how to price render cleaning. Honestly, I think I'd just do square meterage again. I'm glad that he's doing a time lapse. I wonder if you'll actually see it working. Because sometimes, if the time lapse goes on for long enough, you can actually see it in real time. Not in real time, in sped up time. See it working. That's some awkward angles there. You can see it, look. It's definitely working. Look at the right compared to the left. That's so cool. I love that. The satisfaction of doing this job. And it's not exactly difficult, is it? You're just brushing chemicals onto the wall. It's not like a... I suppose it's fairly physically demanding, doing that all day. But you stick your headphones on and just chill. Get into the rhythm of it. It's quite a big property, actually, to be fair, but... Glossy Glass Cleaning Services, welcome. Thank you so much for choosing to become a member. That's very kind of you. We've had a couple of members tonight, haven't we? Thank you. What's he saying about these walls? These windowsills?
So that's the chemical still working on there around here. So these lichens, and we've treated the side. I'll show you the contrast. And these are the window bottoms around here. So these lichens, they'll come off with a bit of heat. So that's the chemical still working on there.
He's going to steam clean them, I guess. Glossy Glass, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. You've now got access to the Discord if you decide to come and join us and have a chat in the Discord. Yeah, I think that red algae staining is particularly difficult to remove, and I think that's where you'd need to use a biocide or you steam clean it maybe instead. So I've heard. All he does is soft wash. That's a very niche market, surely. So you're telling me if he gets a quote to come pressure wash a driveway or pressure wash a patio, he doesn't do it? Or is the soft washing the only thing he films, maybe? I bet he does all sorts of other jobs. He just doesn't necessarily film them for YouTube.
It's looking really good. The staining's gone.
So he pressure washed that back wall. I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube for using someone else's music.
I'll just show you what we're looking at. So you can see it's looking really good. The staining's gone. And this side, this bottom wall. This was particularly black up here.
You don't need one because you can't legally use it. As you answered earlier, no license or training needed for hypo. I'm saying as I've been told that because you can't use it legally in the UK, which sounds weird. You can't use hypo legally in the UK, but you don't need a license. You don't need license or training to use it. I don't understand what everyone's saying here. It's not everyone, sorry, it's just Hooper. I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying that using hypo in exterior cleaning is illegal, but you don't need a license or any training to use it. I don't know what point you're making there, mate. I'm sorry. I'm lost. I'm a little bit drunk and a bit confused, so my apologies. He gives pressure washing jobs out to a different company. Oh, okay. Yeah, Steve, I think you're still really far behind, mate. Are you still looking at the grouting footage? I think you need to refresh your live stream, mate. You're about half an hour behind. You were told that hypo is completely illegal. No, I've just sped up the chipmunk. I've just sped up the video, mate. I think we're all caught up. I guess when you turbo, you use a lot more sand. I did 130 square meters the other day and took 4 bags. Yeah, I mean, definitely you're not going to clean as effectively between the joints if you're not turboing them. So maybe that is why you're using less sand. I was told by a guy in a Facebook gardening group, apparently under HSE or whatever, you can't use it. I need to research more, obviously. I find that really hard to believe, just because the amount of hoops that Pure Seal have to jump through to be able to sell their products legally seems insane. And I can't imagine that they'd be able to promote, advertise and sell sodium hypochlorite based products for the cleaning industry, branded as exterior cleaning products. I can't imagine they'd legally get away with being able to sell those products knowing that they're going to be used in the cleaning industry. You know what I mean? If we're not allowed to use it, why would they be able to sell it? Loving the haircut, Jakey boy. Thanks, James. I'm doing a bit of a mullet. It's called a modern mullet. I cut this myself. What do you think? Is it alright? I saw everyone in Amsterdam with it. My mate Callum, he's the first one that I saw with it. And it means that I can just cut my hair myself now, because I've always been able to sort of cut my hair, but when you get all the way around the back, it gets really difficult. So if I can just cut the front like this, and then just grow the rest out, it still looks like you've got a fresh haircut at the front, but then the back's just super wild mullet style. That's the kind of look I'm going for, but I haven't got straight hair like he has. Everyone in Amsterdam had this haircut, and they had a big moustache as well. I'm getting there. Mine just needs to be longer. Don't jet wash your Pebble Dash. Happy birthday, Jake. Thanks, Hooper. You prefer it? You prefer this haircut? Thank you. I agree, it sounds odd. I think when you said earlier that it's hard to buy, it may be worth looking into further. Oh, I've subscribed to him. There you go. My son had a BB gun. He was sold it, but it's illegal, and the police came to the door and confiscated it. It's like those hoverboards, isn't it? I don't think it's illegal to own a BB gun. It's not illegal to own a hoverboard. But as soon as you take them out in public and use them on public roads and aim them at people, yeah, it's probably going to get confiscated, isn't it? Those scooters are a bit of a weird one, aren't they? Because you're not allowed to drive those scooters on the path. Those electric scooters, the what they call bird scooters. You're not allowed to ride them on the path. And to ride any motorized vehicle on the road, you need to be taxed and insured. So how do they get around that one? It's better, but it's still not quite there, is it? It still looks quite dark. You can be the new trendsetter. I'm definitely not the new trendsetter. This haircut is very popular. It's just not very popular in the UK, I don't think. Same as those electric bikes, they go really fast. Oh, we've just literally spoke about that. That's funny. They do the surfactant. It's called amine oxide. What was it called? Walker Bros. What would I look for? I wonder what you can search for. Floor cleaner. It's rained in Wales for nearly 2 months solid. Oh no. Can't find the JWS scaffold towers. JWS. I've not heard of JWS scaffold towers before. I think I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for the contributions. Anyone who's joined, become a member, everyone who's watched, everyone who's liked the stream. If you don't mind, can you just click the like button? If you're not already subscribed, please feel free to do that. It really helps. I'm going to play a little advert, and thank you all for joining me and watching. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you same time here again next week at 7:30. Hope everyone has a really good week. See you in a bit. Now, these videos take a lot of time and effort to film and edit, on top of trying to run a successful pressure washing business. If you find any of the information in my videos useful, then I'd like for you to consider becoming a paid member of the channel. Circle members and above will get access to my private Discord for members only, where you can pretty much get a hold of me 24 hours a day for inspiration, technical help, marketing advice, or just a general chat. I post pictures and videos that you won't see on any of my other socials. You'll be the first to hear about giveaways, special offers and announcements, and it's just generally a nice place full of like-minded people who are all heading towards similar goals. We've got various different experience levels, we've got a few professionals in the chat as well. If you want to push your business, in my opinion, this is the place to be. We also have two other membership tiers. One is just to show a bit of support for the channel, and the other one is for boosted members, which will not only give you access to the private Discord, but also loads of high quality promotional images for you to start your business. I know what it's like when you're ready to get going, but you don't have any before and after pictures to put on your leaflets. At the moment, there's about 150 images that you can use for pretty much whatever you like, and my intention is to constantly update these over the next few years with all of my before and afters that have helped promote my business. Last thing before I let you go, new videos come out every Monday night at 5:30, and then I go live at 7:30 to chat to you guys and answer as many questions as possible. We do live quotes for real customers and just generally keep up to date with everything going on in the pressure washing world. Thanks for watching, back to the video.